So I share videos on this channel, but who am I? Why do I do what I do? I thought I'd take a few minutes to introduce myself and explain who I am, how I came to do what I do, and hopefully share some wisdom to help anybody that is thinking about starting a business or wants to find ways of making their business even better than it is. So I'm Julia Blake. I was born and raised in Somerset. My mum was a science teacher. My dad was a cheesemaker, but then ended up running creameries. And I learned at an early age that processes were good. I think probably because of dad being a cheesemaker, if you get part of a process wrong when you're making something like that, then you end up with a bad batch of cheese. Everything has to be precise and thought about and done in order. And I think I learned a lot from that. My mum was a science teacher, but she also taught children that couldn't go to school. They were either ill or they had broken a bone or they'd been expelled, and she taught those children for many years and really helped them. And I really admired her for what she did, and that has given me a sense of really wanting to help people. I think that I learned that from a very young age. I didn't like school. I went to an old girls' school. I didn't like it at all. I left at 16, went to work for Lloyds Bank and in Glastonbury, and that was absolutely brilliant because it gave me great insight into small businesses and money and how important it is to, make sure that your business is running smoothly and efficiently. And then I went to work in a merchant bank, which was brilliant. First time I got made redundant, and I then went to university, but I didn't go in the normal way. I don't tend to do things in the normal fashion. I ended up doing a couple of A-levels on evening class, but I didn't have the grades to get into uni. So I called the unis and I went in to see the University of Greenwich, and the course director said, if you've got the determination to make this much effort, then you're on the course. So I did that, did international business, worked in the States in a software house, which was a brilliant thing to do. Being in Boston with friends was absolutely excellent. Partied really hard and enjoyed life to the full. Came back, finished my degree, and then ended up working in an accountancy software house in Hammersmith, which was a brilliant experience. I'd majored in accountancy in my international business degree, and it was a brilliant place to work. We had champagne on Monday mornings because we hit sales targets. We got taken on company holidays. It was just an amazing place, and I hope everybody gets somewhere like that to work in their career, because made amazing friends I'm still in contact with. It was a brilliant thing to do, great experience. And I ended up being the executive assistant at that software house to the CEO. And never underestimate what an executive assistant knows, because they are party to so much of the stuff that goes on in the business. They're in all the meetings and department heads come and talk to them. And I learned so much about running a business. But sadly, that software house got taken over by .com, and we all got made redundant. So that's the second time I got made redundant. And I then went from there to work in Ericsson Mobile Phones in an IT department project manager role, which was a great experience. Got made redundant from there the third time, got made redundant. And then I was lucky enough to be offered some work by somebody that I used to work with at the software house in Hammersmith. And they wanted me to invoice them. They wanted me to have a business that I could invoice them from. That's how they wanted to pay me. And that's the start of Blake Consultants 15 odd years ago. That's how it came about. It just, you never know what is going to be the trigger to start a business. Some people have an idea, and if you're one of those that's had an idea and is progressing that idea, then that's absolutely brilliant. If you're thinking about running your business, starting a business, then get some advice from an accountant, from a financial advisor. Find out all of the different things that you'll have to think about and do. It's worth investing that time before you make that decision, because it can be a big decision, or you can sort of just fall into it like I did. I always wanted to run my own business, but I didn't have a product. And then I realized through that experience that my product was me. So I've never looked back. It's been a fantastic journey, and it has just gone from strength to strength. Why did I end up doing what I'm doing now? Well, in early days of running my business, I just had projects from people that I knew, and it was brilliant. But then the projects came to an end, and then I would find another project. And then it got to a point where I didn't have another project. And I realized that I need to do some business development, get a handle on what I was offering. And that's a really hard thing to do, actually. And running a business like that running your life like that is really hard. It's peaks and troughs the whole time. It's exhausting. So I then came into contact with somebody who wanted me to help them with their capsule, and then somebody else came along and they wanted me to help them with their capsule. I thought, this is a pretty good system. So I looked into getting it for myself. And I realized that when you had capsule with something like MailChimp and something like Xero, then the small business had everything it needed to be running itself. So when you have those systems in place and they're set up properly, then it reduces the peaks and troughs that you experience as a business owner. And it was brilliant. And it went from strength to strength. And what really happened is that I was able to explain these systems to business owners and show them how their peaks and troughs, their feast and famine could be smoothed out over time by having systems that supported their processes within their business. Because often we think of a business as an extension of ourselves as business owners, but actually you need to think of it as a living entity in its own right that needs to be nurtured and looked after in its own right. And when you get processes in place and systems to support those processes, then you're really starting to nurture that business and set it up in a way that works best for the business. You want to set a business up in a way that enables you to step away, to have a break. We need to look after our own mental health. Running a business is exhausting. It can be very lonely, and we need to find ways to enable ourselves to have a break, to chill out. And when you've got the right processes in place, then they liberate you. They give you headspace. You then have the ability to be creative, which is one of the main traits that you need as a business owner. So getting the right processes and systems in place is absolutely key. I particularly like Capsule as that system. It's a hub of the businesses that I work with. So I work with consultants and service-based business owners because and the reason I do that is they're passionate about what they do. They want to make a difference in the world, and I, in my own small way, am helping them make a difference in the world. So that's why I particularly love working with consultants and service-based business owners. But Capsule can be the hub within their business because you can have all of your contacts in it. You can look after your pipeline, and you can look after what you can manage, what you deliver to your clients. And when you do that, when you have repeatable processes, you're reducing the cost of sale and you're increasing the net profit in your business, as well as giving yourself headspace, which is what you absolutely need to be on top of your game. You need to be creative. And if you're stressed and overwhelmed, then you're not going to be on top of your game. You're not going to be able to be creative. So having processes in place are liberating and empowering. And that's why I do what I do. I want to help business owners do more of what they want to do, of what they love. And I want them to, if they have a bad day, for it never to be an unproductive day. And that is, in a nutshell, who I am, where I've come from, how I got to be here and share these videos with you. So I've been setting up clients on Capsule for 13, 14 years now. And I also help clients that already have Capsule to make it work better for them. So if you want any help at all, then do reach out. If you want to just talk about your business journey, or if you want to talk about how you progress with your business journey or any challenges that you're facing, then reach out. I'm always happy to have a chat and help fellow business owners.